talk about one of the big deals which has happened in the industry, and otherwise too. There's a lot of interest. If you observe what's happening in the power sector, the entire value chain has been buzzing. The generators, the transmission tower companies, and even the hardware providers. Genus Power recently did a very big deal with GIC, the Singapore arm, regarding the smart meter opportunity. So Mr. Jitendra Agarwal, the management of Genus Power, is joining us now. Jitendra, thank you very much for your time. It's just not your company. We're just observing that over the weekend, Power Grid, many others too, are witnessing progression on the, and many states are announcing large tenders as well. Before we talk about your transaction and what it holds for your shareholders and the company, I want to understand what has actually gone, the thinking behind this. Many of the state governments, center, everybody is talking about smart metering, and we have seen that the transmission losses are the biggest issue for this sector. How big is the opportunity, and what has gone? What are the reforms which have happened?
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, Government of India has been thinking of replacing all the conventional electricity meters to smart meters. And RDSS scheme, which is revamped distribution sector scheme, was launched almost 5 years back. And in these scheme, 250 million endpoints, which every endpoint of a metering connection in this country has to be converted to a smart meter. So it brings a huge opportunity to people like us. And why this? And why smart meters is a necessity? If you see globally also, a smart meter has become the necessity to the industrial, to the humankind. And why? Because only distribution can be the way to sustain the electricity and the energy. And to manage the distribution, a smart meter is the way to go about it. The country is very clear, the government is very clear, each and every meter has to become a smart meter. More than 100 million meters tenders has been pushed out. There is a huge opportunity in the front of us, and almost every state electricity board from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, not a single state electricity board has not gone for smart meters now. So the opportunity is very, very large for us.
The opportunity size is very large, Mr. Agarwal, and that's what Jefferies is also talking about, almost a $14 billion kind of opportunity with 205 million smart meter installations lined up over the next few years itself. You talked about how a lot of states have brought in these bids, etc. Talk to me about which are the bids you have put in your hat for, and which are the ones which are in the pipeline?
So more than 100 million meters bids are in the pipeline in the country currently today. And Genus is participating selectively, but almost in every bids. So we are not very selective on the states, we are more selective on the projects, the kind of work it has to be done. So we have been bidding in different parts of the country. More than 100 million meter tenders are open in the market. Almost I would say out of 100 million, 25 million meter bids has been quoted, few have been opened, many have been decided, and almost 75 million meters bids are in the pipeline, which will be quoted in next 2 to 3 months.
Pricing of it, because what we understand from a few reports is that initially there was supposed to be 3 to 5 partners, that's gone up to 8 to 10 now. Is pricing a bit of a problem, and you have to probably squeeze on the margins to get all of these bids?
I think that pricing is definitely not a problem currently, because the opportunity is very, very large. There are very large companies which have shown interest in this business, but everybody knows these are large contracts. These have to be taken care for 10 years. So only people who have the capability, financial capability, technical capability will come into this kind of business. And these are all large companies like Adani, Monte Carlo, GMR, and they all know the infrastructure business very well. So till now, I'm not seeing any pressure on the margins. I think industry is sensible enough to work on the right margins.
Mr. Agarwal, yes, it's a 10-year contract, 2.5 years for construction, 7.5 for contribution of revenues. Tell me, of this, say, $14 billion potential smart meters, how much do you see coming your way? And how are the margins on these numbers? Yes, it's a volume product, but I'm assuming margins will be on the lower side, right?
So again, as I said, if you see the smart metering industry, it's a very high-tech industry. And you have to have a very focus on your product, on your technology. And Genus has been leading this industry from last almost 2 decades. So I personally don't see a lot of pressure on the margin. Definitely with the volumes go up, even the costing comes down. So with this, I don't see any challenge on the margins. The kind of business, so Genus will be doing AMISP work also, and Genus will be supplying meters to this AMISP providers also. So Genus is in a very good position where we will take care of both kind of business as a system integrator and as a meter provider. So, and we are working with almost all the companies in the country closely, not only as a meter provider, as a system
Right.
integrator.
Mr. Agarwal, your current order book is 6,500 crore.
Yes.
What kind of revenues are we talking about in 3-year period? And what
So,
would be the profit beyond that?
I have given the guidance earlier also. For this year, I'm maintaining the guidance of 12 to 1400 crores. For next year onwards, I see a multifold growth in the revenues.
Sure, what is that multifold, Mr. Agarwal? Is that 1200 crores likely to become 5000 crores within 3 years? And you said that it's a 10-year opportunity. So what kind of scale up should we expect?
So I don't want to put any numbers on that. That is the reason I'm calling it multifold.
Approximately, is it going to be 20-25% growth? Can it be even like 30-35%? Given the scale right now is very low, we're just trying to envisage of what kind of potential does it really have?
20-25% I will say is very pessimistic.
Oh.
So I'll be I'm much
So
more
at least
optimistic.
35-40%, is that more realistic? Give us a ballpark understanding. We're not holding on to the numbers for you here.
As I said, I said earlier, it is multifold. I don't want to put any number, but even 35-40% I personally feel is pessimistic.
5,000 is in the bags, right? Within 3 years, 5,000 crores on the top line. Again, I'm not holding you for that number, but just to get a sense directionally.
I won't say it is impossible.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. Not impossible. 3 years, 5,000 crore.
Yeah.
And the company market cap is 4,000 crore right
Yeah.
now. So in a 3-year period, it's at one-time sales.
No, and he kept on repeating the multi-fold kind of opportunity. And I mean, it is quite possible as well. Let's see how it really tracks. But for now, the potential is huge. It's about the execution now.
Yes, that's correct. And I mean, there's a lot